I have been battling a lot lately.
I think I may be done getting braids.
This is a message for Apple Incorporated. My faith is wavering.
What do you do when the things that once gave you peace start to feel like pressure? And how can becoming aware of this cycle help you move with more clarity and not confusion? Hi, I'm Jasmine, and I want to talk about it.
Life move fast and you do what you want. I can stop doing what I want. Connected to notanotherjasmine.
Gang, what is up? What is the good? I usually share what's on my hair, share what's on my heart. I'm doing that, but today it is mostly geared to what's on my heart. The products are always gonna be in the description box for you below. Super easy wash day. I used 3 products in total for this wash day. The curls came out juicy, and I'll just let you see the rest for yourself. As for my heart, there's a lot that's on it, especially lately, but I want to keep it short and simple for you today because that's what life is, short and simple. I think it starts getting complicated when we start attaching ourselves to our feelings, emotions, and circumstances, and I totally get that. So that's why I want to have a conversation with an open heart and open mind. I don't know about your For You page, but mine has been heavily influenced by people being done with gardening. If you don't know, gardening is smoking weed however you would like, but that is the activity that it equates to, depending on context, of course. One may argue, Jasmine, it's on your For You page because it's probably a sign that you're going through the same thing and you probably need to let go of gardening as well. Not too much on me though. Growing up, I was introduced to gardening in a very subtle, playful, fun, harmless way. But one day I looked up and people weren't using it as a social fun thing anymore, but rather a coping mechanism for escaping and numbing. I used to be so certain that it was no big deal, that this could always just be a little thing that I do. But now I see so many people trying to let it go, not because it's inherently bad, but because of the grip it has. Heavy and long-term use can lead to significant issues like increased mental health problems, withdrawal symptoms, respiratory issues, and also damaging your dopamine receptors. And that's just to name a few. This is not a tech talk to stop gardening because, baby, that's not my place. But this is a gentle invitation to not just rely on knowledge, but to tap into wisdom too. Knowledge might say, I'll use this as long as the benefits outweigh the harm. But wisdom says, let me check in with how this will actually show up in my life, emotionally, spiritually, and long term. Because sometimes we try something once or we start with good intentions, and based on that initial experience, we think we know exactly where it's going. Just because it started one way doesn't mean it's going to stay that way. Listen, certainty can turn into a cage. Something that felt fun and freeing might slowly become something you lean too much on. And on the other side as well, something that feels super uncomfortable, even painful in the beginning, can end up being the thing that grows you in the best way. Wisdom leaves room for the outcome to shift. Don't get caught up in certainty. Don't get attached to your present moment. Allow your mind and your habits to change as life changes. And try your best at Jasmine to not think you can find what works for you in others, such as hairstyles, which is much easier said than done. I remember when knotless braids became a thing. They spread it across the internet like wildfire, and before you knew it, everyone was done with box braids, and now knotless braids is like the go-to braid style. And I love seeing moments like that where we can find a somewhat protective style that became cultural and convenient for Black women. But after reading some reports and watching some videos about synthetic hair and how it contains cancer-causing chemicals, it got me looking at the style side-eye. And further further than this devastating research that's come out, I've noticed an increase of testimonies of how tight braids, heavy extensions, and even ponytails are causing alopecia. And again, this video is not here to tell you to stop wearing these styles. Just because it's one person's bad experience doesn't mean it'll be yours. However, one of the most freeing things in this life is to be able to admit when you are wrong. Listen, expect synchronicities, inspiration, and motivation, and act on it. What I mean by that is if you hear someone telling their testimony on how they are experiencing breakage in their hair because of the tight styles they've been wearing, and you can resonate with that on a certain level, that might be the synchronicities and the inspiration of life telling you to do things differently, to try something new. And I know how it is, girl, how we can hold on so tight to habits and the things that we know because it's comfortable. Yeah, you gotta learn how to grieve, and that's a topic that I want to talk about another time. My last point is gonna be on these iPhones, child. And listen, I used to ride down for Android. The loyalty was so real, but somewhere along the way I joined the iPhone cult, and I'm honestly still not sure if it was because I wanted to or because green text were just not cute, right? But now people are questioning their loyalty to a brand that could care less about their environmental footprint, that exploits not only the people that make the iPhones, but the people that also buy them. And all I gotta say is a phone is a phone. Y'all stop getting so attached to these material things. Get your treasures off of this earth, child. Until next time, much love, much peace, deuces. I bet you've never seen a sponsorship at the end of the video, but shout out to today's sponsor, Not Another Hair Care. Not only have I been loving these clips, I find a new reason why I like them every single day I use them, but I've also been getting amazing feedback and also questions about when we're gonna restock certain colors. But listen, read them while you can. Also, there's a weekly newsletter very similar to my videos but in an email format. You can sign up for that completely free. Use Not Another 20 code when you check out for 20% off your entire purchase. Thank you so much for your support. All right, deuces.